another look at this morning's Sunday papers, and I'm joined by journalist and author Janelle Aldred and the UK editor of The Big Issue, Paul McNamee. Great to see you both again. Paul, let's kick off with you first this time. Inside the Sunday Times, page 5, an article about the BBC presenter Huw Edwards. A lot of criticism over the BBC's handling of this crisis.
Well, yes, it's an ongoing live story, although it has faded a little since Becky Flynn, Huw Edwards' wife, made that statement earlier in the week. And it's one that is going to keep going round and round. I mean, I'm of the opinion that the BBC has handled it, I suppose, as well as they could, that it's really none of our business what Huw Edwards was doing in his private life. While it was chaotic and messy and perhaps not to everybody's taste, it wasn't particularly illegal, but this is it is easy, and it's an ongoing thing to bash the BBC and to say, well, this is licence fee money and this is one thing that they should be doing or not doing. It's not going to get resolved easily, and there's always potential for another crisis for the BBC to self-flagellate over, so this is just yet another iteration of that.
Yeah, and Janelle, a thought from you on this. Certainly, opinion is divided about some of the coverage of this story, but certainly it seems much more unanimous when it comes to the actions of Vicky Flynn, Huw Edwards' wife, who, of course, so bravely made that statement this week and put an end to the juggernaut that was the coverage of this story.
Yeah, I think this raises a lot of issues outside of what happened about how do we deal with, in essence, trial by social media sometimes when these things arise. I think if I could, and it is difficult, I've run a TV channel before, I've been a newsreader in a newsroom, I've been part of the BBC, ITV, ITN. These things are very tricky because it's the balance between what does a management team do and what do people think they're doing. And I think part of the issue probably here is that whilst the allegations or complaints were made weeks ago, it kind of seems if the BBC had just dealt with them weeks ago and maybe done whatever they need to do when this story surfaced, it would have been very easy to say, yes, we know, yes, we've had an investigation, yes, we passed the police, there's nothing to see here, and that would maybe have stopped all of what transpired in the end, because in a 24/7 news environment, these stories kind of grow their own legs, add to that social media. Before social media, as a journalist, you kind of have this media law thing where you wouldn't say anything, you can't name them, bit of privacy unless someone's been charged, and all of that kind of goes out the window now. And so I think there are questions outside of how the BBC acted to also how we understand what happens when these situations do arise and how management deals with them, because I think that dealing with it has made it perhaps slightly messier than an already slightly messy situation.
Yeah, it certainly raised lots of questions indeed. Paul, front page of the Sunday Express, the trade deal signed by Kemi Badenoch in New Zealand. On the face of it, it sounds great. We've been talking about it a lot this morning, but there are a lot of question marks over how much difference it's really going to make economically.
Yes, and as you had in your package earlier, while it says 12 trillion Brexit trade boost, that is misleading. I mean, that suggests that's the money that's going to pour in with this new Indo-Pacific deal that has been on the table, on the cards for a number of months. In fact, it was 8 trillion a few months ago, so somehow they found an extra 4. The boost economically looks like it'll be about 2 billion over 10 years, which, when you put it into context, that's just about 10 times what Arsenal have spent this summer on football players alone, which isn't a great deal of money. But on the other side, I suppose, as was identified by an expert earlier on your show, there's a diplomatic boost to this. There's some potential for Britain to be seen as a more leading global power than perhaps it has been, particularly in that part of the world. And there is a digital boost as well, digital trade. So it's not quite the panacea and the Brexit green uplands that the Sunday Express is portraying as they would, but at the same time, it's perhaps not quite as negative as just the 2 billion over 10 years. The truth is somewhere in between, which is another. I suppose this is another reason why people sometimes scratch their heads when elements in the press lead with particular stories that meet their agenda but aren't absolutely clear.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we see that a lot, don't we, in terms of Brexit especially. Janelle, Inside the Times, 2,000 jobs could go with the closure of railway ticket offices.
Yeah, so Transport Focus are doing a consultation, but leaked documents show this could be the end result, 2,000 jobs going. The thing that I would say about this consultation and about these kind of stories, or the way that they're definitely spoken about, is it seems a lot of the focus is on ticket buying. So it's down to the fact that more people are buying tickets online. So say there's one rail station in Gloucestershire where 5 tickets are bought and they've got someone working 6.5 hours. But I think in this kind of AI, new kind of computer, it's almost a customer service less society we're moving towards. And the truth is, it's not just about buying tickets. It's people who have disabilities, it's people with traveling with children or vulnerable people who are not tech savvy, and also antisocial things that happen when there's no one manning a station. So the consultation is live, and they're saying they're inviting people to talk about their experiences and to offer their opinions on it. And I really think that people should take the opportunity, because I think when it becomes just a ticket focused, we've had this many tickets from this person here, I think we lose sight of the fact that people around in a train station, in an environment that can be vulnerable or scary or late at night, or you couldn't buy a ticket online, or you don't have that access, you carry cash, whatever it is, I think it should be a more well-rounded conversation about what train stations and the people in them offer, which isn't just about buying tickets, although that is part of it.
And Paul, let's just end on this story inside The Observer. Of course, we're seeing hotter summers every year, it seems. Wildfires in Europe, it's now quite a common thing. And we could see the hottest week ever in 120,000 years this month, just briefly.
We are at a key point in, it feels like, the future of humanity. We keep saying something must be done. We're burning too many carbon fuels, and we can see the effect, not just in Europe, but in Korea as well at the moment, and in wildfires across parts of the States and beyond. When people like Just Stop Oil stand up and say we need to do something about it, we say, yeah, but you're a bit annoying. We haven't quite found a way.
Okay, Paul, we're
really
going to have to leave it there. I'm so sorry. Great to have you both on. Thanks so much. More at the top of the hour.